At 9:07 a.m., a junior clerk tried to retrieve a file and found 42 records missing without explanation. What began as routine archive protocol now triggered a crisis that would unravel the chain of custody, spark a full-scale investigation, and threaten to topple Project Meridian. 42 files vanished. Why were they chosen, and who stood to lose everything when they disappeared? Every file entering the archive receives a unique accession number, etched on its cover and logged into the digital inventory. Barcode labels are scanned at each handoff, creating a time-stamped record in the system. For every transfer, whether to storage, review, or legal counsel, protocol demands a dual signature form, one from the person releasing the file, and one from the receiver. These signatures, along with exact times and storage locations, are mandatory fields in both paper and electronic logs. Each archival box holds a manifest listing every file inside by accession number and barcode. Any movement outside standard procedures, such as unscheduled access or missing signatures, automatically triggers a compliance alert. The integrity of this process is not just tradition, it is the legal backbone for evidence admissibility. Without a complete chain, from barcode scan to dual authenticated handoff, the record's value collapses. This is the baseline. Every file. Every time. At 9:07 in the morning, a junior clerk attempted to retrieve file number 17 from its assigned shelf. The slot was empty. Expecting a simple misfile, the clerk checked the digital inventory. The system returned a status of not found. Following protocol, the clerk initiated a manual check of the surrounding folders. Within minutes, the anomaly expanded. One missing file became a pattern. A rapid review of the inventory log exposed a total of 42 consecutive gaps, each file marked missing both physically and digitally. The clerk documented the incident in the archive's digital log and sent an escalation email to compliance. The message read, "Immediate concern for procedural error. The current chain appears invalid. Requesting full audit." By noon, supervisors confirmed the count, 42 files, all absent, all flagged in the system. The discovery moved quickly through internal channels, setting off alarms and triggering the first in a series of urgent reviews. The scale and precision of the loss left no room for error or delay. Between 2:13 a.m. and 4:17 a.m., the surveillance system recorded nothing but static, only static and blank frames. The blackout lasted just over 2 hours, long enough to erase any visual record of who entered or left the archive. Badge access logs, however, captured 3 entries during that period. At 2:21 a.m., a badge swipe registered at the north storage door, aligning with the shelving unit where the first cluster of missing files was kept. Nearly an hour later, at 3:16 a.m., another badge granted access to the corridor beside the section containing files 17 through 25. The final entry occurred at 4:03 a.m. at the main record room entrance. No names were recorded, only badge numbers and timestamps, each movement logged without corresponding footage. The surveillance void defines a precise window of opportunity, narrowing the possible timeline for interference to this isolated interval. The physical absence of images, combined with the digital certainty of entry, leaves a calculated silence where answers should be. File integrity checks rely on digital fingerprints, cryptographic hashes, unique codes generated from the exact contents of each file. When a file is created or modified, its hash changes, much like a fingerprint shifting with every scar. During the audit, 3 files stood out: file number 3, file number 19, and file number 41. Their stored hash values no longer match the records from the last certified inventory. For file number 19, the current hash failed to align with both the backup and the prior audit log, a discrepancy that cannot happen by accident. Metadata for these files revealed edits logged under non-standard administrator accounts, with usernames that do not correspond to any known staff. More troubling, the last modified timestamps for all 3 files landed between 2:30 a.m. and 4 a.m. outside regular hours, precisely overlapping with the surveillance blackout. These anomalies, verified by forensic analysts, suggest deliberate interference. In digital forensics, A hash mismatch is the clearest sign. The file was changed, and someone tried to hide it. Barcode scan exports from February 28th list. 42 consecutive entries, each stamped with precise times and operator initials. BX4 20158 at 13:04:22, BX4 20159 4 seconds later, and so on. These physical scans correspond to files later flagged as missing. Yet when auditors checked the digital manifest, every one of those barcodes returned a blank field, no timestamp, no movement recorded, status not found. Server logs for that day show no attempt to write those file transfers into the official record. The paper trail exists. The digital one vanishes at the exact point of transfer. For a system built on redundancy, such a pattern is not random error, but a structural fracture, anchoring the timeline of loss. Auditors gathered in silence, gloved hands lifting a single file from the shelves. Its cover bore the last untampered accession number, sealed edge to edge in evidence tape. The official note, dated and initialed, warned: preserve. Do not access without dual authorization. Every other folder in the manifest carried a blank, but this one remained, untouched, its contents locked away. The investigation stopped here. 42 gaps, one file preserved, and the question of what vanished left echoing in the archive's cold, fluorescent hush. In any system, the loss of just a few records can collapse trust. Today, every missing file is a blind spot, and in that darkness, accountability quietly disappears. What would you demand?